Welcome back to another episode of Don't Shoot the Messenger. I am Chris Dickens with my, as always, cohort,
Jinx Scott, and or just Jinx. Sorry,
I can't
Jinx.
give your name.
Just Jinx.
That's part of the conspiracy.
Yes, I'm just Jinx.
She's
Forget
just Jinx.
Everything else you've heard. It's just Jinx.
Except for today, because today we're getting into the mother of all conspiracies.
Yes, the Reptilian Elite. Am I saying that right?
The Reptilian Elite. This is where pretty much you think everything goes back to Illuminati. Well, Illuminati goes back to Reptilian Elite. So this is all where everything kind of heads back to.
The Reptilian Elite are in charge of the Illuminati? Is that what you're saying?
The Illuminati actually are
the Reptilian
Elite.
Interesting.
So the whole basis of this is we're not just run by, because if you don't know what the Illuminati is, it's 13 families that run the world. They control the world, and pretty much the head family is the Rothschilds. Okay, so the Rothschilds they own the World Bank.
Watching that Tom Hanks movie is not going to help you very much here, right?
No.
Okay.
No, the Rothschilds own the World Bank, and they've been on every side of every war, on both sides of every war since forever.
So it's a family squabble, basically. It just keeps on going. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay.
So the whole thing, though, is that all these families are actually reptiles who've been, or hybrids, because there's two types now. There's a hierarchy. So you have your purebred reptiles, and then you have your hybrid reptiles. Purebred reptiles know they're reptiles. They can change in and out of form by altering the UV rays that are unseen to the human eye. Because the light spectrum, we only see it on
like
portion.
in the movie or TV show V, or
Yes.
the V. Or,
Yes.
Yes.
Well, that was more of like they were wearing masks.
Yeah. No, you're thinking of the other one.
No, they would rip off the mask.
That's a different one. There was another one where you had to have special glasses on to be able to see them.
To see their
Yes.
their subliminal messages.
But also them. No, it was them too.
So they they alter the spectrum of light we cannot see to kind of in vibration sorts, I guess you would say, to where we only see and feel what they want us to.
Okay.
It's very in depth. This is very in depth, and I know
this is why we're dedicating this whole episode to this topic, because
and 15 minutes probably wouldn't even be enough.
Yeah, so we're just brushing the surface of this topic. We may come back to it at another point. We'll see how far Chef gets into it with this.
So the whole thing is how this came about is I want you to look back and think about all religions. Snakes or reptiles or things are big presence in most of religions.
And they're feared by most of them, or the evil presence.
They are feared by most of them, and they are the evil presence. So I always go back to when I talk about religion and stuff like that is people write from what they know. Whether you're coming up with it or not, you write from what you know.
Mm-hmm. Yes, what you've experienced or what you view.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that reptiles, dragons, all this stuff coming up, it's a little weird. Now, the head of the Reptilian Elite is known as the Pindar.
Pindar. Where did they come up with this title?
It's just it's like Pinnacle Dragon. Pinnacle Dragon. Pindar.
Wouldn't it be Pindra? If you're combining pinnacle and dragon starts with dra, not dar.
Well, I'm just not smart then. Anyway, so the Pindar is the leader of them, which he's the one that knows everything. It's actually believed to be the head of the Rothschild family.
Okay,
is the Pindar.
So is it an elected person, or are they just the highest
hierarchy
kind of person in the family?
Just a hierarchy. Just the way it is, kind of like king, queen, so on and so forth. Bloodline has just made them this.
Okay.
Their whole purpose is to enslave mankind. This is just, I believe this. I do.
Enslave all of mankind, so they just want to control the world. So they're controlling the destruction of the world right now?
There are multiple races of aliens throughout the world. And according to this, a lot of the stuff that you read is that there are 4 main races on the planet Earth of humanoids.
And just to clarify, by aliens, you don't mean different people from different countries.
No,
you mean people
Mexicans.
from different extraterrestrial.
I'm talking extraterrestrial beings. Well, I wouldn't call reptiles like extraterrestrial because the whole thing is actually they've been here longer than us and watched us evolve and then tried to manipulate us. There are 4 humanoid beings on the planet. You have the green reptiles, which are hybrids. White reptiles, which are the ones that are the full bloods. The green reptiles, as in hybrid, I meant, are human and reptile combined. White reptiles are straight reptilian elite. They understand they're reptiles. They can change in out of form. The green ones don't know, but they still follow orders. They don't have a consciousness of them being reptiles.
But they still understand the hierarchy of everybody else.
Yes. Then there are the grays, your typical alien. Okay. Then comes humans. So we're at the bottom of the food chain.
Hopefully not. That's figuratively, not literally.
They do eat humans, but they eat the purest kind. So usually children.
They eat children. So they're very evil beings.
They are very evil. They poison our water, our air, our food, everything. So like, if you notice too, FDA regulations, especially in America, have started to slip on about a lot of stuff.
So was Hitler a reptilian elite?
No, Hitler was not a reptilian elite.
Which is why they brought him down, basically.
Probably why they brought him down. So their whole thing is they want to control us, and they use it through mind manipulation and stuff like that. Because I want you to think about it too. Think about the advancements of human technology.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Through most of our history, we've advanced pretty fast through stuff.
Over the past 100 years or 200 years, I would say.
Well,
yes,
the last 100 years, we've kind of slowed down.
Really, you think?
I think so. What major advancements in technology have we seen? We've seen stuff in medicine, but that's
just the advancement of computers from like the big machines that they were back in.
But that's
the
just
40s,
altering.
50s
It's
to
not
what we have now.
But it's altering. It's not creating.
It.
I'm just saying it's altering. It's not creating. We've kind of just worked on. Hey, let's perfect what we have rather than let's keep on going. Where throughout most of history, you've seen just
machines, engines like that started, 1800s and progressing those.
Same thing. It's just working on things that we have. Nobody has created new stuff. You haven't seen new inventions really be created. You've seen people alter things. The production of human creativity has slowed. We've become more focused on phones and TVs, and that's more of a way of trying to enslave media. So they're trying
entertainment value.
They're trying to do it. There is a.
What about things like CRISPR? DNA manipulation. Yes.
I mean, well, that's part of it. But that also is something that probably was handed down as well
to correct things like blindness, deafness, to get rid of AIDS. cure for AIDS.
Well, you have to have healthy slaves now, don't you? So their whole thing is they're going to enslave us and try to have us create a whole new world for them. Kind of as in the Egyptians did with the Jews. And as you've seen through most
So were Egyptians reptilian elite?
We'll think about that too, of gods. So this all comes down to aliens too. Gods show up, they're higher power beings, and we write from what we know. So I assume that every god was an alien, and goes back to the Tablet of Thoth that you and I have talked about.
Yes. Which it makes sense, especially like when you have gods coming to Earth and then going back up into the clouds, right?
And the only way to describe flying back then was wings.
Because birds, yes.
Yeah, because birds.
Levitation, I don't know.
They wouldn't have levitation. I mean, they would just be... It was the best way.
But the way they described Jesus going back into the heavens was levitating on a cloud.
Well,
they didn't use the word levitating.
Christians are weird.
Yes. I'm not touching that one.
You Bible banging over there. Don't even come to me.
Oh my goodness, no.
So it's a lot of famous people that are. There are people who are in places of power, have things of power, who are connected with the Reptilian Elite. So now, have you ever heard of Bohemian Grove?
No, I have not.
Okay.
Bohemian Rhapsody, yes.
No, Bohemian Grove.
Was Freddie Mercury a Reptilian Elite?
I couldn't tell you. The Bohemian Grove is a plot of land in California, and out of Sonoma, that holds a secret society. That it's not really a secret society because people know about it, and when they're asked about it, kind of like when you ask a vampire if they're a vampire, they have to tell you they're a vampire.
Do they?
Yes.
I did not know this about vampires.
Yes. So when you ask these people about Bohemian Grove, they have to tell you they're part of it.
I read that book, but I don't remember that being in it.
That's part of it.
Okay, I'll have to reread it.
I'm going to bring back Dracula to you.
Yes, because I know this goes back as far as
the Bush family is just so well connected.
Bush family connected to Vlad the Impaler.
Yes.
That was crazy. We'll get to that.
So the Bohemian Grove is this secret society that they have, and they have to tell you they're a part of it. And there's videos of people who are part of it, like people going up to them and tell me about Bohemian Grove. Oh, they're very nice people, blah, 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 blah. Well, Alex Jones, a conspiracy theorist, traveled into Bohemian Grove, which is
Alex Jones, known for trying to say Sandy Hook was a conspiracy.
It was a conspiracy, and I can prove that to you on another episode.
Oh my goodness. You cannot say that tragedy did not really happen.
It did not happen.
Oh, please.
We'll get into that another show.
Oh, my goodness. All right.
I got plenty of one. I got lots of fuel for lots of episodes here.
I'm trying to keep an open mind with these things you're presenting, but
anywho, so
really hard.
So he crashed the Bohemian Grove party. Okay, so what they do is 2 weeks every year, all of the people of Bohemian Grove, they have about 2,000 members, show up in this area, this like 200-acre area, and they party their asses off. I mean, they're getting drunk, they're having a good time. Well, he recorded a ritual that they do, and it was very satanic, and it was supposedly a sacrificing of a human. I mean, the video quality wasn't great, but it was him, like, the whole video is like 13 minutes long. It's him actually showing signs, like entering Bohemian Grove and like cutting through forests and going up creeks and going stuff, where it ends up where this giant lake where there's just this weird ritual going on, and there's thousands of people just standing around.
And none of the reptiles in the woods clued them off that there was an intruder.
Well, come on now. I'm just presenting facts.
Facts. Okay.
I will show. I will post this video for you. I promise you. Okay.
All right.
So
we'll try to put a link to it with our.
But it all ties
podcast.
to. So it's all politicians. Well, that brings me back to the Bush family. You know how well connected the Bush family are, family wise.
Pretty connected.
Unbelievably connected. So George W. Bush is 11th cousins to Barack Obama, who is 11th cousins or 9th cousins to Brad Pitt, who is also 8th cousins to Dick Cheney, who is 9th cousins once removed to George Bush. George W. Bush is 7th cousins 5 times removed to Abraham Lincoln. He is also 32 generations removed to Vlad the Impaler.
As we were mentioning before.
Dracula.
Yes.
Dracula himself. Mm-hmm. He is 11th cousins twice removed to Princess Diana. And so like John Kerry's 9th cousins twice removed. Hugh Hefner's 11th cousins twice removed. And Pocahontas is his 8th great-grandfather, married her granddaughter.
See, that's just, I think, more stretching. Because if you stretch back anybody's genealogy, you're going to find connections to people if you try hard enough.
But yes and no. I mean, yes and no, because not everybody just banged everybody, and now that's where all comes from.
Well, no,
I mean, you stretch back far enough, yes. Everyone that comes from probably 2 people, it's just weird seeing all of that. Seeing all these people who are in power or have very...
Or maybe it's just noticeable because he is such a high-ranking person that it's easy to backtrack his genealogy, whereas somebody else that isn't as well known, it's a little harder and trickier to do that.
I just had a family party where I met my 4th cousin once removed.
Okay.
So like and I didn't know them. I was just did this. We had the 80 people there, and we're all cousins in some sort of fashion or another. But you're talking 4th cousins once removed. That is like closer to him about them being like Barack Obama being 11th cousins. So you're going to tell me at some point I'm connected to Barack Obama? I don't think so.
You never know. I mean, even I have 2% African in my system.
Yeah,
so who knows?
I can tell.
I know. I totally look it right. My great grandfather rode with Pancho Villa, but that's a totally different story.
Okay,
yes,
he rode with Pancho Villa. There you go.
And supposedly I have an ancestor that was Earl in Scotland, but I don't know. That's verifiable. It was only like 4 generations ago.
I want to just go kind of back to the Bible with what they uncovered the schism. Okay, and that was what Adam and Eve represented. Kind of the first interaction between the reptilian elite and humans.
With speaking with the snake. Or serpent
in
the Bible. See, I think you've presented a lot of information here, but I don't think enough facts to really explain
but that's why it's a conspiracy theory. It's hard. It's hard. You have all this information. It's hard to come across facts. You have to decide what is a fact to you and what is not.
I don't think you've really gone into explaining what they do or who they are.
They control everything. I mean, it's pretty much, it comes down to it. They control everything.
Okay. Give me an example of something that you know.
The World Bank.
Okay.
Okay. Like I said, the Rothschilds. The Rothschilds are the biggest family of conspiracies. They are known to have been interbreeding for generations upon generations upon generations to keep their blood pure. All right. Well, what did I say? There's the pure blood reptilians and the half blood reptilians.
So if they're trying to keep pure blood, why do they allow the interbreeding?
Because it expands their race still.
Okay.
So their race still expands. So when it comes down to it you believe that. I mean, the Rothschilds have been connected to satanic rituals, tons of things. There's so much controversy surrounding that family that nobody can infiltrate that family, that it's hard to, that's why it's also hard to get fact. If you can't infiltrate, how are you supposed to get it?
True.
So It's a lot of speculation. I want to get into this more.
Oh.
I know our time's running short here.
Yes. Yeah, we'll have to. There's a lot of information. I feel like this is going to have to be a two-parter. I know.
This is scratching the surface.
Like just trying to read up on this to learn a little bit about before, I started reading that whole article on David Icke. Is that how his name's pronounced?
David Icke is the man who's the godfather of the Reptilian Elite conspiracy.
It's all started with him hearing voices, somebody talking to him, sending him messages that, after he had been injured playing football, knee injuries or whatever, arthritis.
They used mind control.
Yes. So, and he presented this story and of course sounded crazy, but that just made it more well known. And then he's written several books about this, of course, and is the one that started all this. So why would they choose to start giving these messages to one person to get this information out? Or who do you feel?
I feel like they have a plan to start the movement of world domination, like the actual physical world domination. Think coming up soon, we're going to be seeing the confirmation of aliens via NASA and our government.
But why do you think they allowed him to find out about this and get the message out that they
Why
even
would
exist?
they even do anything? It's the fact that it starts speculation. Speculation starts fear. Fear means control.
Okay. So Donald Trump, is he part of the alien elite?
No, he's just an idiot.
Or reptilian elite, I should say. He's just something that slipped through the cracks.
He might be an alien. Who knows?
He was, what's the word for it?
Maybe he was a genetic mutation of a
or like an anomaly. They didn't expect that to actually happen, just like the rest of the world.
Actually, The Simpsons predicted Donald Trump.
Yes.
Did you see? Well, that's what I want to get into.
Yeah.
Have you heard of the Illuminati game?
No, I haven't.
Okay, The Simpsons and the Illuminati game. That one we'll do something on. It's a lot of fun.
Definitely.
We're going to have to come back for part 2 with this, though.
Yep, it's a lot of information.
I know you probably guys are like, what the hell was this? You didn't give me much.
I know. And
I had
not as fun as some of our other ones.
Not as fun because I had to set a backstory because you can't just jump into it because then you're like, Chris, you're crazy. I'm turning this off.
Yeah, well, hopefully you're not turning us off, but you can't say that Chris is crazy. That's totally okay. I say it all the time.
Keep an eye out. Part 2 will be posted up shortly. As always, we are just messengers.
Don't shoot the messenger. We'll be back next week, maybe sooner with our part 2.